Hello everyone, welcome back to Studio Rags. This is your Shibori online class. In this class, we're going to do a few different methods. As you know that Shibori is basically the Japanese method of tie dyeing. And here the first method that we're going to do is the Nui Shibori, which is the stitching technique. With stitching technique or Nui Shibori, you can achieve quite a few complex patterns. But right now we're going to do a very simple pattern, which is a wave pattern, and I have made a repeatable wave pattern. I'm drawing a double wave. I would match the joints and make a repeat. The fabric here I'm using is a cotton voile, which is a lightweight fabric, and I have made it a double fold lengthwise, and then I'm doing a four fold. So basically this is 4 layers that I'm going to stitch at a time. The thread that we should use should be preferably a thicker thread, and you should make a double string and always measure the pattern. Your thread should be longer than the pattern itself that you're going to do. The stitching is actually very simple. It's a running stitch, up and down, and it's a roughly 1 cm length. So you would be actually able to finish this job quite quickly. After you finish both the lines, then it's time to draw the strings. It's a good idea to use a piece of colored fabric on one end of the thing, or use any wooden pieces just like you see in the video here. That's going to help you draw the strings more tightly, and you would be able to keep track of the end of the thread, and it's okay to cut the extra thread. The next style is again the Nui Shibori, which is a stitching technique, but this time we're going to make a circular shape or the wood grain effect. So draw around 4 circles with a small gap. Use the double string and start stitching. Don't forget to measure the string so you don't have to worry about a joint in the middle. So in this way, finish all the circles. Use small pieces of rags or some wooden stick so that you can control your strings better, and also you don't happen to tear the fabric while you're pulling them. It's actually best to start from the biggest circle, draw the string, and then go to the next and next and next. And at the end, you can actually wrap the drawn string around the tip of the circle and finish your pattern. You can also use a rubber band at the end to make a sharp circle, and this pattern is ready as well. If you're looking for very precise shapes or result, then it is best to iron your piece. Just like you see that all the fabrics here I'm using, I have already ironed them. Now the next pattern is the Itajimi Shibori, which is the folding and clamping or tying. And this piece, you can see that I have 4 folded, like I folded it into double and then again folded into a quarter, and now it's going to be a fan folding technique. So again, put it into a half and then make a fan folding or an accordion fold. Use any straight sticks like popsicle sticks, and it's a good idea to actually use double sticks above and under the fabric. You will have a better control and better strength. You will notice that I'm putting the popsicle sticks in a diagonal position because that's going to create different shapes of mandala. And now this is the last shape that we're going to do. Again, it's almost a square fabric. Actually, it's a 50 by 60 cm piece, and I have accordion folded it back and forth, and then again it's another accordion fold. The purpose for the accordion fold is to fold it in a way that the dye can reach all the layers. If you don't make an accordion fold or fan folding, then the dye would not be able to go to the innermost layers of the fabric. You can be creative and use different things that are available around the house. For example, these are two lids that I'm using to create a circular shape. You could use any lid, a circular lid or a square or rectangular lid, and you can create different patterns and effects. So now this is the time to dye all the fabrics. I have soaked all these pieces in the softener solution for just 10 minutes, then lightly just wring it to squeeze out the extra water. And the method of dyeing that I'm using here is not the pot method. I'm actually using the squirt bottle method because I find it more quick, and it's less messy, and you don't have to do so many things. But it's up to you. If you want to use a pot method, then you would have to use sufficient water to dissolve all your dye into the water, which should be 60 to 70 degrees centigrade in the temperature. And that's basically going to be a dip dyeing method. And in that method, you have to keep stirring your piece so the dye gets distributed to all parts of the fabric equally. The pot dyeing or the dip dyeing method or the boiling method is specifically better if you're looking for a very uniform solid finish. But if you're not looking for a solid finish, then this squirt bottle method is a good and convenient method to do your dyeing, and it's less messy, or it doesn't need a lot of effort. So now this is the next mandala shape that I'm doing. Mandala or star would be the result. And over here you can see that I'm going to make a colored shibori. So shibori basically is the method of tie dyeing, and you don't have to always go only blue, because when you think of only blue shibori, that's basically the indigo shibori, where they use the natural indigo dye. Nowadays you have the natural indigo dye very rarely, and mostly the industrial indigo dye or the synthetic dye is used, and that's what is available in the market mostly. So and that also means that you can use different kind of dyes for the shibori purpose. You don't have to restrict yourself with the indigo dye. This dye particularly is the Prussian dye that I'm using, and that's this one is the last shape that we're doing for the session. It's a fan folded square, almost a square piece, which is blocked by a circular shape. And you just saw that I've added pink on the corners. I just thought to have some interesting twist or look in my piece. So after you apply the dye to all the pieces, let them sit for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, apply the fixing agent, which is the soda ash in this case. There are a few other fixing agents as well, but soda ash is equally good. After you've dyed all the pieces, put them into separate plastic bags and let them sit for 8 to 12 hours, and then wash them. While they're sitting curing the dye, don't forget to flip the sides over so the dye doesn't sit on one side because of the gravity. So after 8 to 12 hours, just wash them with normal water and then run through the hot water and line dry them. So thank you very much for doing shibori with me, and we will meet very soon again with some more interesting things about tie dyeing, Indonesian batik, or chunri dyeing. Chunri dyeing is the eastern method of tie dyeing, and you can achieve very, very intricate patterns. So we're going to have a course on chunri dyeing very soon. Then see you again. Bye bye.